Throughout my coursework in the MET program at Boise State, I have grown in my practice as an educator. AECT standard number 1 focuses on a candidate's demonstration of the knowledge needed to create, use, assess, and manage applications of educational technology. Much of my coursework has given me the opportunity to improve my application of content knowledge into my lesson creation. In particular, there are a few assignments that demonstrate my use and development of AECT standard number 1. The assignments that best demonstrate my content knowledge are my Careers in Forensic Science web quest from EdTech 502, my spreadsheet lesson plan from EdTech 541, and my grant proposal from EdTech 551. The web quest I created in EdTech 502 was a culmination of what I learned about creating resources for my classroom online. This included web page design, accessibility, and some HTML5 coding. In order to create the web quest, I needed to have a firm grasp of what content I wanted to use, as well as how well I wanted the site to be designed for access in the classroom. I had to be careful to create pages within the website that were properly linked and were easy to access from different site locations. My spreadsheet lesson plan from EdTech 541 was an example of a lesson that I teach every year that was improved by using technology. I chose to augment a traditional lesson with the use of Google Sheets. To improve this lesson, I utilized a Google spreadsheet that is shared amongst all students in the class. Students can then import their data into the spreadsheet and it can be used by the entire class. This lesson demonstrates my ability to practically apply technology in a way that modifies the lesson as described by the SAMR model. Learning to write a grant proposal was one of my more challenging courses in my MET program. In order to write the proposal, I needed to have a firm understanding of the grant writing process. For this to occur, I completed research, conducted a needs assessment, designed lesson plans, and determined objectives for using digital compound microscopes. Applying all of this information into a full grant proposal demonstrated my ability to apply content knowledge of EdTech tools in science towards a technical writing assignment. Overall, the selected assignments provide a small sampling of the work done in my MET program at Boise State. These assignments particularly demonstrate my content knowledge of EdTech and science and how this content knowledge fits into practical applications centered around the classroom. As a result of my coursework, I was able to create technology-enhanced lessons with best practices in mind, assess the impact of technology in my lessons, and determine the need for new technology in the classroom. During my EdTech MET program at Boise State, I have developed my pedagogy and bettered myself as an educator. Courses in the program allowed me to find innovative and effective ways to integrate educational technology tools in the classroom. In addition, I had the opportunity to create lessons that were practical to the classes I teach and evaluate the integration of certain EdTech tools. A few examples of coursework that align with AECT standard number 2 will be highlighted in this video. Assignments that best demonstrate my growth in pedagogy are the Social Studies Content Learning Activity in EdTech 541, the Instructional Design Project in EdTech 503, and the Assisted Technology Project in EdTech 541. In EdTech 541, I created several cross-curricular lessons involving science and other subject areas. The cross-curricular lesson for social studies in particular demonstrated my integration of educational technology through Google's Street View. In this lesson, I asked students to take a digital field trip through CERN, the European Center for Nuclear Research. Students were then asked to create an infographic describing CERN and the experiments that go on at the facility. Instead of just reading about it, students are able to explore a location that is otherwise inaccessible in the classroom. My instructional design project in EdTech 503 focused on the implementation of screencasting into a high school forensics classroom. In this lesson, students were asked to create a screencast for a jigsaw design project. The goal of the lesson was for students to create an artifact that could be viewed multiple times by all students for use later in the unit. As a result of this project, I was able to collect data and determine the efficacy of this technology tool and its integration into the lesson. Exploring assistive technology tools in EdTech 541 gave me the chance to find techniques to better serve diverse students in the high school classroom. In this project, technology tools were researched for students with cognitive disabilities, physical disabilities, sensory difficulties, at-risk students, and gifted students. Inclusion in the classrooms gives teachers a better opportunity to grow as practitioners and find ways to make their content accessible. The apps and tools that I describe in this project can make that process easier in some cases. Prior to taking the MET program at Boise State, I thought that technology integration in the classroom meant showing students videos and using Google Docs instead of worksheets. My use of technology was not as effective and didn't significantly enhance my lessons. However, my EdTech pedagogy has grown as a result of my coursework at Boise State. I have grown to be mindful and reflective in my use of technology, and I try to focus on best practices when considering the use of a technology tool. AECT standard number 3 focuses on a candidate's ability to facilitate learning by creating, using, evaluating, and managing effective learning environments. My coursework in the MET program at Boise State has given me the opportunity to grow as a facilitator and find more effective ways to teach my content. In particular, I have been able to shift my classroom from teacher-centered to student-centered. This shift was made possible from my coursework at Boise State. The assignments that best demonstrate my ability to utilize, create, evaluate, and manage effective learning environments are the virtual field trip in EdTech 502, the WordPress blogging in EdTech 537, and the Internet Enriched lesson in EdTech 541. Learning to code and build web activities in EdTech 502 was extremely challenging but also extremely rewarding. The virtual field trip lesson I created was designed for students to work in jigsaw groups to study and learn about 5 different types of a chemical reaction. The website I created was designed for each group to utilize a separate page, which included embedded videos of each reaction type. Creating and maintaining this website demonstrated my ability to create and use effective learning environments to transform a lesson into a student-centered activity. In EdTech 537, I maintained a blog that chronicled my work in the class plus some additional posts. Learning to manage and maintain provided me the experience needed to utilize blogging in the classroom. A blog can be used in a variety of ways, and taking EdTech 537 gave me insight into some best practices. For example, I have experimented with using blogging as a way to share new scientific discoveries. Students post and respond to their classmates and see how science is progressing by the day. In EdTech 541, I had the opportunity to create an Internet Enriched lesson, which utilized a variety of web-based tools to help students understand a difficult concept. Google Sites housed all of the web tools for this lesson, which makes accessing for students easy. The Google site also has the videos, practice game, and Kahoot formative assessment embedded, which allows for easy navigation for the student. By creating this lesson, I was able to demonstrate my ability to create and maintain a learning environment where web tools are used to help students succeed. Overall, my coursework throughout the MET program has enabled me to create, use, evaluate, and manage effective learning environments. The shift towards a student-centered classroom has been a focus of mine as I have progressed through my classes, and my artifacts demonstrate this progression. AECT standard number 4 focuses on a candidate's development as a reflective practitioner in the ability to demonstrate effective implementation of educational technologies and processes based on contemporary content and pedagogy. In the MET program, I have learned best practices for technology implementation and how to effectively reflect on the impact technology has on student learning. The assignments that best demonstrate my development into a reflective practitioner able to evaluate educational technologies are the evaluation of professional development in EdTech 505, the project-based learning plan in EdTech 542, and the video integration lesson in EdTech 541. In EdTech 505, I completed a full evaluation of a professional development opportunity at a local school district. My evaluation was completed using the decision-making model, and qualitative data was collected to formatively determine the impact of the professional development at the conclusion of the sessions. Results from the various collection methods provided conclusions to the stakeholders that the sessions were somewhat successful in meeting objectives. In EdTech 542, I designed a project-based learning activity where forensic science students studied and presented incidences of wrongful convictions that were overturned using DNA fingerprinting. When writing this unit, I had to be mindful of the assessment strategies I would use while students were working through their materials and creating their presentations. Finding ways to integrate technology required a well-thought-out plan, and all portions of the project had to tie back to the central question. In EdTech 541, I created a lesson plan that was focused on video integration. In this lesson, a flipped approach is utilized where students watch screencasted lessons about the atom and practice is completed in class. These screencasts were made by me and include practice examples. Much of my coursework in the MET program focused on screencasting and a flipped classroom, so this lesson ties into many uses of it. Reflecting on my previous work I had done on screencasting and its efficacy provided me insight into designing this lesson and the best practices for making a flipped approach successful. Overall, my coursework at Boise State has provided me the opportunity to practice careful technology implementation in the classroom. Prior to this program, I wasn't using technology to enhance my pedagogy, but instead to replace traditional pencil and paper assignments. Now, I realize that technology is meant to transform lessons and provide students with new learning opportunities that were not possible without technology. AECT Standard Number 5 focuses on a candidate's ability to explore, evaluate, synthesize, and apply methods of inquiry and research to enhance learning and improve performance. Using peer-reviewed research provided a foundation for my written works within my courses and allowed me to expand my understanding of learning theories, technology integration, and best practices in the classroom. Creating lessons prior to the MET program was sometimes difficult for me and often resulted in some missteps. However, taking my courses at Boise State provided me research-based insight into lesson design, allowing me to take the next step as a practitioner. Some of the assignments that best demonstrate my mastery of AECT Standard Number 5 are the Annotated Bibliography in EdTech 501, the Learning Theories paper in EdTech 504, and the RFP in EdTech 505. One of the earlier assignments in my EdTech program was the Annotated Bibliography completed in EdTech 501. Prior to this course, I had been introduced to an annotated bibliography, but never actually created or used one. I chose to research flipped classrooms for this assignment, and this choice guided many other assignments that I completed throughout the EdTech program. Researching and providing summaries for peer-reviewed work was great practice with finding research and applying it to a topic. Similarly, I was able to practice and hone my academic writing skills and use of APA formatting. In EdTech 504, I continued my research of the flipped classroom and extended it through my Learning Theories paper. In this assignment, I researched constructivism and how it can be best implemented in a secondary science classroom through a flipped design by using screencasting. Completing this research and synthesizing it towards the constructivist learning theory gave me a new perspective on how science can be taught. As a result, I have been able to provide insight to my colleagues at work when they are attempting this new design of instruction. In EdTech 505, I completed the request for proposal assignment. In this assignment, I applied research about evaluation methods to create a hypothetical proposal for a hypothetical project. Designing an evaluation plan and a proposed budget gave me the opportunity to apply research done in the class as well as practice writing a proposed evaluation, which then applied to the larger assignment of the course. The methods described in this course textbook, the ABCs for evaluation, were extremely helpful in my design. Overall, research has been a common thread throughout my coursework in the MET program at Boise State. Focusing on research when completing academic work provides candidates with a firm foundation on which to build lessons, design instructional tools, and evaluate performance. As a result of my coursework, I'm able to make decisions about the lessons I create and have confidence in their efficacy because of the research I've completed in my courses.